Firstly, I used above-the-line marketing to promote our ancillary products, as we used mass media to create a campaign. For example, I used Instagram, a social media app that I knew our target audience used every day of their lives. Using Instagram to promote our product was useful in getting our audience to realize that there was a potential film coming out. For example, I posted segments of our poster bit by bit to introduce the movie. I would also post, for example, the bottom corner of the poster or the middle and tag other horror film accounts with a mass audience. And I used hashtags, which would mean that people who were, for example, American Horror Story, the Explore page would also have our content in there. This gained an interest of our audience. In addition, I also created a teaser poster to display and share through apps such as WhatsApp and Snapchat, which allowed the news of our film to travel by word of mouth as people would then start talking about it, and this helped me to build a campaign. The teaser poster links to the radio trailer, as it shows that Mila is not in a right state just by looking at her angry facial expression. For example, the teaser poster has red eyes on it, but then the audience said that they couldn't notice much of the red eyes. Now the teaser poster links to the final movie, as what I did was change Mila's eyes to a rainbow type of gradient, and I reduced its opacity. This is to link with the film, as I used a prism filter on the Final Cut Pro X every time Mila had a malfunction of depression. This allows my audience to know that there's something wrong with her, and they also preferred it like this as they could recognize that there was actually something wrong with her. We also wanted to keep the teaser poster simple, which was influenced by many campaigns with a similar technique, such as Avatar and Friday the 13th. Their campaigns were successful as they tempted their audience to watch it and gave them a hint of the narrative without revealing the whole plot. Regarding focus groups and surveys for the poster in our primary research, mainly people preferred the orphan film poster because it was simple. We tried to make our poster as simple as we can too, for example, by showing the two personalities of our character on each side of the main character malfunctioning with the two different facial expressions in the poster. Also, they thought that the font for the title of Orphan was unique and different. Thus, we named our movie Senseless, as the audience will wonder why this is called Senseless even after the release of the film. The audience feedback during research and planning was different to our production, as people mainly saw trailers on YouTube or on TV. However, as we're a low budget production group, we can't afford this, and so we campaigned through social media apps and posters as much as we could. I used the Z formation when producing the poster, as the audience who see the poster normally read a poster from the top left to the bottom right. This would allow my audience to construct a narrative from my poster, as the top left is light and the bottom right is dark, noting that these conventional colors could mean that this is a dark horror story. The facial expressions that they see first may also give them this hint. Lastly, seeing the title and the website on the poster will intrigue them to find out more about the movie and keep the name in their minds so that they remember it and watch the movie. Furthermore, the font that we used for our poster was the same fonts as we used in our film. For example, the title of the poster was in the font Kabanyuzi, and the same was used in the film after the opening titles. This reassures the audience that they are watching the film and that this has been advertised to them and that they'll recognize it straight away. This makes them an active audience, as they would remember the poster, and this would be our preferred reading of the poster. With the radio trailer, if people believe that they can relate to it, then they may watch it using the uses and gratifications theory. For example, if a person wanted to work in the criminal sector, they may want to see the psychological impacts that can lead a person to commit murder. Therefore, they may watch the film for work. Alternatively, they can watch it for escapism or for any other reason. Many people also said that they would hear a radio trailer in a variety of places, such as the shops or a radio or on television. What the most votes was on was YouTube. Knowing this, I know that if I wanted to further develop the campaign for my product, I'd release a trailer on YouTube, as our target audience is more likely to see it on YouTube because they're young and it's easy to access and it is free. This was useful in seeing where our target audience are most likely to listen to things. What influenced me to do this was the campaigning that I researched on the Blair Witch Project. What they did was they handed out fake missing people posters to real people and created fake rumors to make it seem like the students were missing in the forest. Through this, the target audience really searched to help find these students through sharing the posters and information about these fictional characters. However, once they found out that it was a film, they all went to watch it as they thought the campaigning was amazing. This influenced me to make my radio trailer start off like it's a real news story at first. As in my film, Neela finds out that she is a killer of her buddies through this. The headlines that start off the radio trailer would connote realism, which assists the placement of the marketing campaign on a commercial radio, as it could trick the audience into listening and thinking that it's a special news bulletin. This would make my target audience active and engaging instead of being passive. However, the headlines in my radio trailer then become a reverb, as the repeated lines of the news reporter repeat with distortion. This is not just to make my product unique, but it also links with the film, as the news reporter's voice is repeated after Mila hears her bullies' names, and that she realizes that she is the one who killed them. Also, within the poster there are 3 faces of the same person, again connoting that there is something wrong with her, and that the repetition of faces means that there's a distortion in her personality. To further connote that there is something wrong with Mila, I tried to match the prism effects to the radio trailer by having a static sound and 4 glitches when Mila says, "Everybody has a good and a bad side" in the trailer. This makes it seem like she is not real and that her true identity will come out soon in the film as her voice is glitching. This is shown in the poster and in the radio trailer through directly speaking to the audience, as after Mila says everybody has a good and a bad side, our narrator asks them, "Which one are you?" Again, this allows our audience to actively engage in our products. The way this element fits into the film is by showing that Mila has both a good and a bad side, and that the bad side is the one who kills her bullies. The tagline is therefore made memorable and can help stick to the audience's heads as it's simple and catchy. Our ancillary products tease our audience in thinking what's interesting in our film, and it encourages them to watch it. If the target audience find it interesting and talk about it to people, it would create a word of mouth advertising which would be beneficial to us as it's both free and it reaches a mass audience. We would distribute it to well-known cinemas such as Picture House, Odeon and View, and also after its release we would release it on DVD so that people can buy the film, thus increasing our gross income.